Hi there, everybody. I'm Mairead Smialek, and we're here with Ran Carrotti with Carrotti Engineering. And we're here talking about something that we see in a lot of inspection reports. And I think it's important that we bring an expert in and talk about it. And that's what, the cracks we find in homes on inspection reports in Florida in particular. So do you want to talk a little bit about what those cracks are that we find in homes?
Absolutely, and I appreciate you allowing me to come here today. So some of the cracks that we find in Florida homes range widely depending on the reason for those kinds of cracks. A lot of the ones that we see common in the exterior are going to be like your stucco cracks, of course. Some stair-step cracking because of the type of construction, that would be masonry. And then you go into the interior, you might see some slab cracks in your garage slab. You might see some wall cracks or cracks around your windows or door openings.
When you're looking at them, my assumption is some are structural and some are cosmetic. And that's where, as an agent, I'm always very hesitant because for liability, that's not my area of expertise. So can you talk a little bit about the differences of those two?
Structural is the type of cracks where you have to replace the material. It's either degraded into a certain amount where it won't take the loads that it was designed for. Functional is the type of cracks that affects the function or use of the building element or anything attached thereto. Think sloping floors or a crack in the slab where you're tripping over it or you can't open your doors or windows. And then if it doesn't classify as structural damage or functional damage, we put it into the category of cosmetic.
So I'm walking around with a client and we're looking at a property, and when do you think is a good time to say, hey, you know what, let's call that structural engineer? Like, what should I be looking for to best advise them or the people that are watching this video?
Really, the best time to call an engineer is when you want answers. Fear is the biggest factor in indecision, in no call to action and trying to do that, and it paralyzes a lot of people. Yeah. So when there are questions that are nagging at you or your seller or your buyer, anybody, that's when you call in an engineer to give you the answers. And that's what I tell people. I say, you have questions, we have answers.
When we're walking around a property, are there any things that people should be looking for, looking at to be a concern, to even know, hey, this should nag at me?
What I tell a lot of people is that my assessments that I do out on site are like a snapshot in time, and be able to determine if something is ongoing into the future, you can do a comparison. So doing a lot of pictures and doing that comparison can tell you, I have something that's cosmetic and I just need to maintain it, or there's something more serious going on. The amount of cracks, the size of cracks is always the case. Some other experts that you would call in before me might give you some direction as to the type of cracks that will be concerning to call in an engineer, typically an inspector, a home inspector, or a residential property inspector. Sloping floors is very, very easy to pick off. Issues about the windows and doors usually come up very readily as well.
In particular, what about windows and doors? Being able to open and close them?
Being able to open and close them is definitely something to consider, as well as any cracks around the openings, because that can tell if the opening itself has shifted in such a way or skewed in such a way that has affected the function or use of the window or door in question.
Homeowners always want to maintain their property. Is there something that you can do as a homeowner right now to prevent these cracks or make them look better, or just general maintenance items?
Vigilance is the biggest key. Going out there and taking a look at what's going on with your property on a routine basis, like very much like taking care of your car. You got to change your oil in your car. You got to check your tire pressure in your car. You want to go around your house and see if there's been compromises or cracks in the building envelope or anything else starts to feel off with you on that. That's when a homeowner or a property owner should, start logging these concerns so that it can be, dealt with.
Is there anything you recommend to put on a crack that's cosmetic to maintain it and make it look better? Or is it just like sealing it up? Or is there something?
There's actually many different ways of doing it depending on how, in depth you want to get into it.
Okay.
You can do painting is one where you can just fill it in and then do some painting.
Okay.
Elastomeric paint is really good for that.
Okay.
In
Great.
Masonry construction, there's a process called tuck pointing, which you actually grind out the head and bed joints of the masonry, the stair-step pattern that you're talking about, pack that in, and then paint over it. So there's many different ways, depending on the level of comfort that you are with.
Well, thank you so much. This was really informative.
Absolutely.
The viewers here can find your contact details below, and I'll see you on the next one.